Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. So when I started this channel a few months back, I said this channel was going to be about skating, fashion, and music. But, except for my February favourites video, I haven't been talking about music on this channel at all. That's why today I'm going to show you my favourite songs and kind of my favourite playlist to make up for that, basically. So the problem with me and music is that I listen to music all the freaking time, but when it comes to choosing my favourite songs, I'm super picky because, in my opinion, it's called favourite song for a reason. I've got loads of songs that I like, but I've got very, very few favourites. That's why I've only got 7 or 8 songs for you today. These tracks are from the last 2 or 3 months, but these tracks are handpicked by me, so you're only getting the best of the best, the top of the pops, I don't even know. So I'm going to go through my list of favourite songs at the moment. In no particular order, I'm going to talk about the song and then show you a little snippet. Every song I'm going to show you today you can find on SoundCloud to listen to for free. I'm going to link you every song in the description down below, so check that out if you're interested. So the first song I'm going to show you today is actually a mashup. I found it on SoundCloud. It was uploaded by the user Cultural, and it's a mashup of Mr. Carmack, G-Eazy, and Post Malone. Basically what he did was he took my absolute favourite song by Mr. Carmack, Dime Piece 122, and put a G-Eazy and Post Malone a cappella on top of it and made it twice as good, basically. He actually pitched Post Malone up a few semitones and now he sounds a little bit like a child or woman. But that's okay, it still sounds cool. So basically it's a flute-heavy future trap beat with Post Malone and G-Eazy. What more could you ask for? Here's what it sounds like.
Yeah, die line with the boom pow. Every week now I switch to a new style. 2 12s in the back just blew out. Everything I do end up in the news now. Yeah.
My wrist so cold and my eyes so frozen. It's over you. It don't bring you closer, diamonds. My state of mind. I'm drowning in the ocean. Just stay right where you are and don't come any closer. I'm just.
Okay, staying on the topic of mashups, I've got another one for you. This one is by Aston, it's called Mask Off, and it's a mashup of Mask Off by Future and Chop Suey by System of a Down. Sounds weird, I know, but it works so well. Basically what he did was he took System of a Down's Chop Suey, chopped it up a little bit, going for the pun there, not really though, and made a trap beat out of it and put Future's Mask Off a cappella on top of it. It works so well. So basically it's a weird mashup of heavy metal and trap. I know I just considered System of a Down heavy metal, but Wikipedia says it's heavy metal, so I'm gonna say heavy metal. Don't judge me. I don't know, it's something I've never heard before. Really interesting. Here's what it sounds like.
Mask on, fucking mask on, mask on, fucking mask on, 2 cups, toast her with the game. From food stamps to a whole nother domain.
Anyway, the next track is a future R&B track called Happy to Know by Chris Berry and Midas. I found it on SoundCloud as well, and usually for me the future R&B genre is dying a little bit because everyone's just using a super saw, kind of chopping it up and filtering it and putting it on top of a trap beat. That's not original anymore. It's getting boring. You have to come up with something new. And Chris Berry and Midas, they came up with something new in my opinion, even though the second drop of Happy to Know is a super saw again and it's a little bit boring, but I really like the first drop because the first drop is basically a trap beat with a house bass line, which works very well. Overall, it's a more chilled track. It can get you a little bit pumped, but it won't get you super hyped up. Anyway, this is what it sounds like. So most of these tracks are by up-and-coming SoundCloud producers, so they're not that well known, but I've got one exception. The next song is There For You by Troye Sivan and Martin Garrix. So it's a little bit more mainstream, but I still love this song. To be honest, I'm a little sucker for Troye Sivan. I love his voice, I love him as a person, I love the music he's making, and when I've heard he had a new single out, I was on SoundCloud in no time listening to it, and I love it. Basically, it's a typical Troye Sivan future R&B song. It's something you wouldn't necessarily expect from Martin Garrix, but Martin Garrix at the moment is kind of shifting, I feel, from EDM to more R&B, trappy, future kind of stuff, which I like. I like his most recent stuff way more than his weird EDM stuff he put out a few years ago. I still love the track to bits. I also love the lyrics because they deal with a one-sided relationship. Troy's kind of talking about, I'll do all that stuff for you, but you've got to be there for me too. And I think that's a really interesting song concept, a perfect song for me. This is what it sounds like.
Somewhere I lost a piece of me, smoking cigarettes on balconies. But your pillow like a river, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you when you scream, but you gotta be there for me too.
So staying on the topic of future R&B, I've discovered an artist a few months ago. He's called Janie, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he describes his music as orchestra, so orchestral and trap combined. And I think this description fits very well because he kind of makes future trap beats with orchestral instruments on top of it. And I like the idea of combining classical instruments with futuristic electronic music, even though I think he sampled most of the instruments he uses. Anyway, it works really well. A few days ago, he released his first ever EP called Organics. It's a 5-track EP. I really like it, but I've got one absolute favourite track on there. My favourite track is Go Ahead Boy featuring Kevon. It has got beautiful vocals, a weird melody that sticks in your head forever, played on a kind of wonky sounding xylophone or something like that. The first drop is just a super saw, which, like I've said, I don't really like that. I would have preferred a more creative drop, but nonetheless, this track is awesome. I love the melody. I also love the lyrics. It's a chilled one again that evokes loads of emotions, for me at least. It's a little bit hard to describe, so listen for yourself.
There's a bluebird in the sky above, and it whispers to my head some words of love. Please leave your na 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 na. Hey, go ahead, boy, you'll find the light in the dark. Hey, go ahead, boy, you'll find a reason to smile.
Speaking of artists I've recently discovered, let's talk about Blackbear. I was recommended Blackbear by a friend, and I've listened to his music and I kind of liked it, but it wasn't my absolute favourite. Until I found the Y2K remix of Dora Me. I really like the original song because, again, the lyrics are awesome. He talks about a relationship he was in that wasn't good for him. She was just talking about him behind his back and using him, and he's basically saying, if I had the chance to meet you again, I wouldn't. The heart of this track is its chorus because it goes do, re, mi, fa, so, done with you. The original was good, but in my opinion, the Y2K remix just makes it even better. It's basically a future trap R&B beat, but he highlights the do, re, mi, fa, so part in the chorus with a koto. I think it's a koto, I'm not sure. So you've got silence and just the vocals and the koto, and that part really made the song for me. Just listen for yourselves. Here's what it sounds like.
Yeah, if I could go back to that day we met, I probably would just stay in bed. You run your mouth all over town, and this one goes out to the next time I'ma stay asleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And you got me it go like do, re, mi, fa, so done with you, girl. So done with all the games you play.
Talking about remixes that are better than the original, I think every one of you knows Sleepyhead by Passion Pit. I liked the original, but it kind of was lacking something for me. It wasn't doing it for me. until I found the Two Friends remix. Two Friends took this song to a whole nother level. They made a future trap track out of it, highlighting the melody wonderfully in the drop, still using a super saw, but in a creative way. I really like that. They've done a really good job of keeping the spirit of the original, but giving it their own little twist, and I really like that. In my opinion, better than the original, even though the original was already great. Here's what it sounds like.
It was like fire around the brim, burning solid, burning thin, the burning rim. Sleepyhead, sleepyhead.
Last but not least, I've got a weird one for you. A track called Twisted by Mathone. Pronunciations, I don't know how to do that. And this one is kind of hard to describe. In my opinion, it's grime, but it's a lot slower than grime and has got more of the head nod hip hop character to it. But at the same time, it uses classic grime elements, so it has got a deep detuned bass line and a repetitive wonky melody, and it's scattered with weird samples all over the place. I don't know, I'd say a grime hip hop crossover kind of. Even though this track is kind of minimalistic and it has got a dark, eerie feeling to it, it has got this grime characteristic and it can get you really hyped up. Definitely an interesting track, not for everyone I know, but for me as a grime fanboy, awesome. Here's what it sounds like. And that wraps up our video for today. I've shown you my favourite songs, now it's your turn. Comment down below your favourite songs at the moment. I'm interested in what you guys are listening to and I love to discover new music, so I'm looking forward to your comments. But that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every week. That's it from me for now and I'll see you later. Bye!